Greetings! Now, while my videos are usually gameplay related, today I wanted to talk about icons. And if you're a hardcore FIFA player who does more than just playing the game, maybe you consume content on social media as well, you'll be well versed on the subject. And some of the things I'll mention today you will already know, but I want this to be understood by those who might not play FIFA Ultimate Team as much as well. Also, as the video goes on, you'll see plenty of guaranteed prime icon packs being opened in the background. For the most part, these are all mine. I've done a whopping 22 of them, and we'll get into that very soon. But basically, I want to discuss the accessibility of the best icons in FIFA 20 and how insane, in my opinion, the situation really is. Also, if you're watching this and aren't aware of what icons in FIFA are, they're basically historical players from the past that you can try and attain and insert into your ultimate team. To give a brief overview of recent years, icons have never really been easily attainable without spending tons of actual money to purchase FIFA packs or a massive time sink. That's already pretty harsh considering all of us pay full retail for the game, and some of us sink so much time into the game without ever touching the likes of a Gullit, Cruyff, or Ronaldo. It's just the way it is, and it always has been. These cards are extremely rare, and to purchase them in-game, like I said, you need an absurd amount of in-game currency. How do you usually gain this currency? You have to play a lot. Like, honestly, a ton. More than you could ever imagine, or you can shorten that time span by spending real money to open an absurd amount of packs. It wasn't until FIFA 17 with the introduction of FUT Champions that through playing a mode called Weekend League, you could really grind your way towards the best players. Now, I know trading and earning coins through spending time in the menus and market has always been a thing, but forgive me if in my opinion, playing refers to actually going into matches and earning coins or items via playing against other players. It's also worth mentioning that while FUT Champions rewards have helped the highest level players secure a steady income week after week, not everyone can get the best ranks. And even then, you need to be really lucky with what you get out of the rewards that you earn. A lot of people also like to mention the fact that these rewards are free so you can't complain, but people fail to realize the enormous time sink that is consistently playing in FUT Champions. I feel it's really important to emphasize the point that at the end of the day, these are not free rewards. You're putting in the time. Which brings us to FIFA 18, which was the first year that icons were available both on PlayStation 4 and Xbox, and the first year that we had icon SBCs. In other words, they were a way for you to trade a set amount of high-rated cards to slowly chip away and unlock your favorite icons. Icon SBCs remained throughout FIFA 19, which although required lots of time to be sunk into the game in order to complete them, it still gave hardcore players a route to unlock some of their favorite icons. Which brings us to where we are now in FIFA 20, the year that icon SBCs were removed from the game and they were replaced by icon swaps. We no longer have a means to work towards our favorite icons. We were and have been limited by a new system where by completing objectives you could earn tokens. These tokens could then be used to unlock certain icons, which sounds good in theory other than the fact that EA chooses which icons we can redeem using these tokens. Throughout the year we had 3 sets of icon swaps, and while the big names like Ronaldo and Gullit were available, it was always the underwhelming poor versions of these cards that were given as redeemable options. And if you don't know, they play completely different to their better versions that cost so much more on the market. Without getting too far into icon swaps, because that's not necessarily the point of this video, there were tons of other issues with it, which is a shame because with better execution, it could have been decent. And so if you didn't spend an absurd amount of money on packs, the only way the player base was given a chance at some of the bigger icons that weren't available via swapping tokens was to indulge in guaranteed icon packs, which is the main focus of this video. Over the past few months, as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, I indulged in 22 prime icon packs, which, as the name suggests, would guarantee me a chance to pack a prime version of any icon in the game. Now, the world of FIFA Ultimate Team is dynamic, everything always changes, and prices for items that you would need to submit to unlock a single prime icon pack always change. So, while at its lowest, from scratch, a prime icon pack could cost around 180,000 coins on PlayStation 4. At its peak, it was around 330,000 coins of in-game currency. Any hardcore player looking at this SBC, including myself, would advise against using your hard-earned coins for any of these guaranteed prime icon packs. The reason being is that, as you can see on the screen, there are a whole bunch of prime icons in the game, and you're only guaranteed one from one of these packs. And if you're worried about performance and how these cards play in game, a lot of these, despite their historical name, are considered unusable or not really meta. And if you go even beyond, there's only a few which are truly elite and are top tier. So when you sift out what you wouldn't really want to get, the odds of getting something worthwhile aren't that great. So you must be wondering, why on God's green earth did I do not 1 but 22 of these if the value and odds are so bad? Well, to understand that, you have to understand a couple of things. First of all, let me explain my level as a FIFA player. Unfortunately, I would say I'm in the top 1% of FIFA players if I had to guesstimate. Over the years, I've achieved the best ranks in online game modes and as a result unlocked the best possible rewards thanks to achieving said ranks. Despite all of that and despite putting in the work to put me in the best positions to unlock the best cards possible, it's now July of 2020, the game was released late September of 2019, and after hundreds of hours of grinding the game at arguably the highest level, I will not even come close to touching any of the top icons in the game. This is in comparison to previous years where, despite similar if not even worse performances from myself, I was still able to unlock some top icons via icon SBCs. Still though, you might be thinking 22 prime icon packs. At their peak, they were 330,000 a pot. That's about 72 million coins in value, which at this stage in the game could buy me a whole lot of icons. I mean, we're talking both the prime and middle version of Ruud Gullit. We're talking a prime Cruyff. We're talking a middle version of R9. We're talking Eusebio. You get the point. So why would I go ahead and spend the coins that I did on doing 22 prime icon packs? Here's the thing. I didn't. I did my prime icon packs for 0 coins. That doesn't mean I did it for free. It wasn't for free because, like I mentioned many times in this video, I spent countless hours playing the game, unlocking packs, unlocking items, some of the best items and packs that filled my club with high rated cards that I wasn't able to sell on the market, but I could use to insert into SBCs, and naturally I chose the prime icon ones. And on paper it sounds great. I got to do a whole 22 prime icon packs just by using the players I grinded for via gameplay. But at the end of the day, you have to ask, what was that for? What was the point when, as you may have seen from the video, I got a grand total of what I would consider 0 top tier elite icons? Because if we actually have a look at the 22 icons I got, and I did keep track, these were the ones that I got. Shevchenko, Shearer, Barnes, Rijkaard, Deco twice, Trezeguet, Riquelme twice, Scholes, Owen 3 times, Vieri, Stoichkov, Petit twice, Baresi, Zanetti, Litmanen, Wright, and Del Piero. Now, if you're a hardcore FIFA player, there's nothing more to say. Hopefully you're sat there understanding the pain that I went through with that pack luck. If you don't play the game and you're wondering why I'm unhappy having packed some of these players which were without a doubt absolute legends in the real sport, then it's worth mentioning that FIFA 20 and FIFA in general is just a game where an icon like Shevchenko just isn't usable, as useful as an 84 rated version of Ryan Kent. An iconic center back like Baresi just isn't as meta as a Diego Carlos. And again, I know it makes absolutely no sense. To this day, it doesn't to me, despite all the hours I put into the game. And as iconic as some of the players I packed are in real life, the way that they play in the game isn't the same. Maybe that's why it seems like you're more likely to pack someone like Owen 3 times, like I did, who, by the way, his worth on the market is 91,000 coins, compared to someone like Ronaldo, who can reach 10 million coins in value on the market depending on the day. But who knows? We don't really know the information on the pack weight and the drops and the percentages of getting each individual icon, if it's the same for each one. And I don't want to get into it because at this point we might get into too many conspiracy theories. But what I do want to say is that I'm not saying that had I packed an R9 or Ronaldinho in my 22nd pack, this would have all been okay. That's not the case, because at that point, I believe I would have been an outlier in the system. Anyone who packs R9 is. Not to mention, it's July. The game is coming to an end. The hype around the game is not the same as it was a few months ago or at the start, and packing a top tier player now, while nice and rewarding, is nothing like having him at the start or middle of the game cycle when the hype and desire to play is at its highest. And so that's what made icon SBCs sort of the poor man's choice. All the items I earned in game this year to complete my icon SBCs could have been put towards a prime Ronaldo icon SBC if it was available. And so hopefully in this video you can can see the point of the whole discussion, which was to show how unhealthy and unfair this current system is. If someone like me who achieves better results and thus unlocks better rewards and thus is able to complete more prime icon packs than 99% of users could even dream of without spending real money, and still I can't even come close to getting myself a prime Cruyff, a prime Gullit, a prime Ronaldo, a prime Eusebio, you get the point, then what is it like for others then? What's it like for someone who doesn't play as much as me? These are obviously pretty rhetorical questions at the end of the day, because the answer is frighteningly obvious. Most players simply won't even come near to some of their favorite players. There just isn't a clear-cut method to do so. And so I hope that despite these 22 prime icon packs not really giving me anything to be proud of, can serve as a point, as a way of proving that this system has regressed compared to what we had with the icon SBCs in the previous two FIFAs. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below, whether you've done the whole guaranteed prime icon pack thing like me, and how did it go for you? That's all for me today though, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.